Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new week and a brand new episode, a Monday episode of 5 Minutes with Phil. How you doing today? I would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us where you're watching from, how your weekend was. We'd love to hear back from you. We really do. And so feel free to do that, and that blesses us when we get to hear from you, and we appreciate all the comments that we get, even the bad ones. We like that too. All right, let's take a look at the book of Mark today, okay? We are in Mark chapter 4, and here's what's going on. Jesus is telling a story here, and he often did that. To get his point across, Jesus would speak in what was called parables, and he would try to illustrate his point by sharing these short stories. And I want to take a look at one of those with you, okay? Take a look at this. Let's start in verse 26. And we're going to go to verse 29. It says this: He also said, "This is what the kingdom of God is like. A man scatters seed on the ground, night and day, whether he sleeps or gets up. The seed sprouts and grows." And watch this next phrase: though he does not know how. Though he does not know how. All by itself the soil produces grain. First the stalk, then the head, then the full kernel in the head. As soon as the grain is ripe, he puts the sickle to it, because the harvest has come. Okay, now, we see the role of the sower. Okay, we see the role of the person who Jesus is identifying as the one that sows the seed, and in the end, he's able to reap the harvest of that. And I want to compare that to those of us who we have kind of sown the seed of like our prayers, okay? And the end game is seeing the answer to those prayers. We've sown the seed of trying to speak into somebody's life. And the end game of that is the fact that that person has given their life completely to Jesus. Incredible moments, right? But that phrase in the middle that I asked you to focus on really stood out to me. Because that phrase says that, the sower sows the seed, but he has no idea how it grows, how it forms, the way that it forms and becomes perfect enough for it to become what the sower needs to harvest. We sow in prayer, we sow with our investment in people and speaking into their lives. But you know what we do after that? We trust God for the rest of it. Now, I believe that there's a harvest for us to realize, and there's a harvest for us to experience, and that is awesome. But we are in that middle phase a lot of times where, as that phrase said, we don't know how God's going to do it. And I want to speak to people today. You are in that middle phase where you want to see the result, you want to see the harvest, but you don't know how God's going to do it. You know what? That's okay. To people who are like me, that need to know how God's doing everything, you got to have it all figured out, you got to have it all scripted out for you. That could be a real uneasy time, because you're like, man, I just wish I had more control over this. I wish I could do something about it. And sometimes we just do our part by sowing the seed, by praying for whatever it is that we're praying for, by loving on and investing in that person that we really care about. And then God uses a process. And sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it's immediate, many times it's drawn out. But if we just hang in there and trust God, then when that harvest comes, we'll see that blessing. I want to encourage you today, if you're in that middle time in your life where you're not sure how the end's going to look like or how long it's going to take, just keep trusting in God. He's in control, and He knows what He's doing. Okay, gotta let you go. Thank you for joining me. We love you. I pray you have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.